Then that was scary. It's all the guys. Have you seen that?
Ready.
Like Stonehenge or something out there.
We need to go ahead and get started. Hate to break up the party, man. I know.
We'll resume it after the
There's
meeting.
definitely a bunch of party animals around here. All right, it is 6 o'clock, so we need to start our council meeting for this Tuesday, December 2nd. And of course, we always start by having the roll call.
Councilmember Lyles,
Here.
Councilmember McCarty,
Here.
Councilmember Stovall,
Here.
Vice Mayor Mullins, here, Mayor Gross.
Here. All right. Again, thank you folks for being here. And in just a minute, I'll ask you to stand for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance. We use the moment of silence here in the town of Benton so that everyone can pray or meditate as they see fit. During that time, I'll be praying. I hope you will. And if you would keep this country and this community and this council meeting in your thoughts and prayers, we would certainly appreciate that. And Councilman Lyles is in charge of the pledge. Who's doing that today?
It might be the last council meeting. I've asked Mike Stovall if he would do it.
Might be my last council meeting.
This might be our last council meeting of the year.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, be more specific.
No, it is the last one. No, it is the last
Be
one.
more
Be
specific.
negative of that.
It is the last one.
How we go?
Thank you.
Face the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I tell you what, just getting a council meeting open is a challenge. Thank you, folks, for that. All right, we will, with that, move on to our community events. If you would please, ma'am.
Okay. December the 4th, which is Thursday, the tree lighting ceremony will take place at 6 p.m. with the Christmas parade to follow at 7 p.m. Prior to that, the Lions Club is having a spaghetti dinner at Benton Baptist. So come and eat your spaghetti and then head to the tree lighting ceremony and the Christmas parade. On December the 9th, the Santa Claus will begin at 5:30 p.m. and will end at 9. December the 11th, the Veterinary Chamber of Commerce is hosting a holiday open house from 5 until 7. And then December the 16th, the town council meeting is canceled. And December the 24th, town offices will close at 12 p.m. in observance of Christmas and will remain closed December 25th and the 26th. We encourage you to visit one of the many restaurants and entertainment venues in our community. And for more information on any of these venues, it can be found on their website or social media. And for more information on everything happening in Benton, please visit the In Benton Facebook page and don't forget to like and share.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
And Merry Christmas, I guess. We'll have Christmas before we come back. So
Yeah, you betcha.
Yeah.
Lots of good stuff. Thank you. All right, Vice Mayor, what kind of activities did we have the last couple of weeks?
Just a couple. On November 19th, myself and Councilmember McCarty attended the Public Works Committee meeting. And December 1st, Mayor Gross attended the Benton First Aid Crew Board meeting. And today, Mayor Gross attended the ribbon cutting ceremony for the Benton Cafe.
All right. Thank you,
Mayor
ma'am.
Gross.
I know. There you go.
Well, it's been busy time. Okay, next item is, thank you for that, Roy. Next item is to request or are there any requests to postpone or change the order of the agenda? All right, hearing none, we will move on to the consent agenda, which tonight includes the regular meeting minutes of November 18th and also a resolution that amends the holiday schedule for the town offices. Are there any changes or additions? Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Okay, awards and presentation. Chief, there you are.
Good morning, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council, business, community members, teammates. I appreciate everybody being here. So today I get the privilege to introduce 2 new members to the Vinton Police Department. One of them we're very familiar with, Dustin Bray, if you don't mind coming up. So we're very blessed to have Dustin back. His presence in itself speaks volumes. Needs no introduction. We're just very blessed to have you back, man, and we're very excited. Took a little bit of a tactical timeout, but we got him back, and we're extremely excited for this. And it's just incredible. I'm really happy about it. I really am. I didn't want it to happen, and I'm just so happy that it came back. I was like, here we go. All right, now we're cooking with gas.
We're all happy about it.
Yes. So Dustin's back.
Hey, keep taking it easy now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just bring that level of confidence to me. It's always been a privilege to have Dustin on the team, for sure. For the almost 10 years, right? 10 years he was with us. A little time out. Now we're back at it. Full steam ahead. So we're glad for that. Welcome back, buddy. Thank you.
Sir, welcome back.
Second, I'd like to invite Miss Rachel Slate. We taking pictures?
You gotta do this again.
Welcome back. Welcome home.
Yeah, I was going.
We just hang out up here, take pictures. Second, I'd like to welcome Rachel Slate, who joins the Vinton Police Department as our new records manager. And we're incredibly fortunate to have her. She brings 3.5 years of hands-on experience as a records manager already. And based what I've already seen, heard, learned, is that we're all preparing to learn a lot of things from her. Extremely talented. We've done some digging during our hiring process. We are responsible people. Rachel developed quite a reputation. She is known for her determination, her reliability, and the kind of attention to detail that keeps an entire organization running smoothly. So, what's not to love about that? This position in itself can essentially make or break a police department, so it's incredibly critical and important, and to have somebody as talented as her is a blessing. Additionally, she's Microsoft Office certified to include all the other certifications that we require as an agency from her that she already brought on board. So she jumps right into the thick of things beautifully. And I'm just glad she chose to pick our town and our team. Rachel lives in Franklin County with her husband, 9-month-old son, and their dog. As I got to know her, it became very evident and very clear how much she values family and creating memories together. It's hard not to appreciate someone who puts their family first. Outside of work, she enjoys horseback riding, singing, art, exploring new places with her husband, and just about anything that gets her outside and outdoors. From the start, she brings an easy and warmth that you notice right away. Rachel is also a talented photographer and operates her own photography business. Her passion for capturing meaningful moments say a lot about who she is, someone who cares about people, pays attention to the details that matter, and understands the importance of preserving the moments that make everything special. The same qualities that she brings to her photography are the qualities that brings to her work, and I'm very proud of that. I'm very lucky, very privileged, and that will, in essence, make our community that much better, much resilient. We're excited to welcome Rachel to the Vinton Police Department and look forward to the energy and the heart that she will undoubtedly bring to our team. Welcome, Rachel.
Well, that resume's impressive. Welcome.
Glad you're here. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, almost it. Dustin, just done. That's it.
Everybody likes your smile too. Sometimes you're in it.
Oh, I know. If I can see Debbie, she can see me.
Right.
Thank you. Rachel and Dustin.
All right.
Sounded like at the end of a marriage. I'll go grab my seat.
Back in the corner.
Oh, my goodness. Well, thank you, folks. Certainly glad to have both of you with us. And Chief, I got to say, I'm always impressed by the quality of people that you bring into the department and bring before us. So congratulations on that. And I hope you folks enjoy it. You know what we're all about, Officer Bray, so I'm glad you're back. All right, with that, oh, I'm sorry, Council, did y'all have anything else? Okay. All right, we'll move on to citizen comments and petitions. This is for anything that's not listed on the agenda. Don't see anything. So we will move on to our briefing tonight. And we have with us a great representative of the Roanoke Valley Allegheny Regional Commission, Amanda McGee, and she's going to talk with us about several things, right?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
There
yeah.
are several things in this plan. Thank you, Mayor Gross, and thank you, Council. Good evening. My name is Amanda McGee. I'm the Director of Community Development for the Roanoke Valley Allegheny Regional Commission. And I'm here to talk to you today about the hazard mitigation plan, which I have optimistically called the 2025 update, and you'll hear more about that. So what is the hazard mitigation plan for those who are not familiar? This is a required plan by the federal government. It is required by the Disaster Mitigation Act of 2000, which is a mouthful. We must revisit this plan every 5 years and update it. Also, FEMA issues new policy guidance on the plan fairly regularly, usually at the change of an administration. The last policy guidance, the most recent policy guidance amendment was in 2025, but there was a major overhaul in 2022. So this plan is accordingly also a major overhaul of the last adopted plan in 2019. This covers the Roanoke Valley Allegheny region excluding, so our entire service area for the Roanoke Valley Allegheny Regional Commission excluding Franklin and Rocky Mount. That is because they are covered in the West Piedmont planning area. We had a 49-person steering committee, which included representatives from all adopting jurisdictions. You can see that list there, but Vinton is, of course, one of them, as are the Western Virginia Water Authority and the Roanoke Valley Resource Authority, which I believe provide services to your citizens, and then organizations including VDEM, NOAA, VDOF, and the town of Iron Gate also participated some in this plan, but is not an adopting jurisdiction. So what was the timeline for this? So I mentioned the last plan was adopted in 2019. We received a grant award to pursue the update of this plan in August of 2023. However, the first steering committee meeting did not occur until September of 2024, and this was due to staffing issues. I took my position in that gap. So as soon as I came on, this was my top priority in terms of projects. We made good progress, including stakeholder interviews throughout the winter of 2024-25, public input that was conducted in February and March of 25, and then the following kind of late spring, summer, it was plan drafting, and then we went through our VDEM review process, which was required, and we did the FEMA review, and we did receive revisions on the FEMA review as of essentially last week. So things have changed a little bit from when I originally was prepared to present to y'all. So we'll talk about that. But so this plan, I mentioned that this was a high priority for me. You'll see that this timeline is very condensed, but is about a year-long timeline in terms of the drafting and the majority of the work. A lot of that was driven by eligibility for funding. So one of the elements, the important aspects of this plan is that it does make you eligible to apply for hazard mitigation grant funding that's provided by FEMA through of VDEM. That funding is generally tied to disaster events. And if you remember, last fall, the state of Virginia was unlucky participant in the Hurricane Helene disaster event. So the whole state is eligible for funding that includes Vinton. So that is why we are moving very quickly to try to get this plan revised and adopted. And it is typically at least a 2-year process. So what is in the plan? This is kind of an outline just to orient you to the variety of information that's in the plan. The first several chapters are focused on kind of existing conditions, the regional profile, the general planning process. Then we move into kind of historical events, assessing what has happened in the region, and then overall risk assessment for the region. I will note that we do have a lot of comments in the risk assessment, and then also comments from FEMA in the mitigation action plans. However, that should not affect your action plan. The other elements in this plan that are relevant here are the capabilities assessment, which is kind of just a look at each adopting jurisdiction and how capable you are of performing mitigation actions and disaster response, and then mitigation goals and strategies. So that's just kind of your toolbox for mitigation, and then, of course, your action items. There we go. And then we have the appendices. I won't go too deeply into this, but you can see there's a lot of technical information that supports this document. The total document is over 800 pages, so it's a lot of information. So what was assessed in the plan? Hazards assessed included earthquake, extreme temperature, which does include extreme cold and extreme heat. Flooding, this also includes your high hazard potential dams, which is any dam which by failing could put a single life at risk. Hurricane and tropical storm, this was assessed, but it was assessed under flooding and wind events, which is another hazard in this list. Geologic hazards, which includes karst and landslide, wildfire, and winter storm. And I did mention wind events already. So we did a lot of stakeholder outreach. I mentioned that was kind of a new element of this plan and planning process. So we met with a lot of groups that are already convening in the region as a way to kind of hit as many people as possible. So we had in-person presentations on the plan, and also an electronic kind of open comment box for our stakeholders. And then we also did the public survey, which we'll talk a little bit more about some of the results from that. But generally, we did have 251 responses, which was better than our last plan, so I'll call it a win. We did unfortunately have a low diversity of responses, but 13% of responses were from households that earn less than $50,000 a year. So that's a number I like to see. We are not only getting one income bracket is always nice. We did get the most responses from Salem, but we did get responses from Benton zip codes as well. And most of our responders were homeowners. In terms of what we asked about, we were really interested in people's experience with hazards in the region. So the number one response from folks in terms of experiencing hazards, probably not a surprise for anyone, most people were most familiar with flooding as a hazard and had experienced flooding. Winter weather was the second most commonly experienced hazard, and then wind events, which was kind of a surprise for us actually as we developed the risk assessment. In terms of concern, the picture looked a little bit different. This graph is a little hard to read. The yellow is actually the extremely concerned. It's kind of reversed. And then the green, if you can see that color on the screen, is very concerned. So you're looking for like more yellow and green in the graph is of more concern. Flood, of course, came in very high. That's not a surprise, but tornado and wind came in right after, and then winter weather and wildfire. So those are the public's most concerning hazards, and I will say that does track, for the most part, with our risk assessment at the regional level. Here you can see where your risk assessment currently ranks each of the hazards. So our low-ranking hazards in Vinton are geologic hazards and wildfire, and the wildfire is just because you are a little more insulated than some of the other localities to the national forest and places where more of our intense wildfires have occurred in the region. Then medium rank is wind event, winter storm, earthquake, and extreme temperatures. The medium is a little different from the regional score, so I want to just outline that. That is wind events, and that's guided largely by historical data and historic costs of specific events, and you just haven't had any of those high cost events compared to some of the other localities. And so then your high is flooding. I don't think that's a surprise for anybody in the Roanoke Valley that flooding would be of most concern for you. In terms of what are our goals and strategies, we identified 3 goals through this planning process, which were to minimize the loss of life, structures and critical infrastructure during disasters, and reduce risk to the built environment and natural resources, minimize the economic impact to communities in the region in the wake of disaster, and minimize impacts to social systems and community resources following a disaster event. The strategies were organized by hazard, and they consider these areas of work, which are kind of the 5 main areas of strategy recommended by FEMA. So specific to y'all, we've been mostly talking about the overall plan, but specific to Vinton, one of the things that's not going to be a surprise for you, you do have a relatively small staff compared to some other localities in the region, and that can sometimes make taking on additional mitigation actions hard. Partnership has been a key strength for Vinton to address that. So of course, working with Roanoke County, but also with other localities across the Roanoke Valley. I will say from regional commission staff, if it's of any interest to y'all, anecdotally, I would say Vinton is our most cooperative partner, so that's good news. Your town is a CRS community. That is a program that allows for reduced flood insurance premiums if you do certain additional planning activities and regulatory activities. You have about 160 structures that are exposed to flood risk, but only 3 repetitive loss in FEMA's database at this time. And then your biggest potential dam impact is the Carbons Cove Reservoir Dam. Staff noted that one of the key things that would help them improve their mitigation activity is additional grant assistance from the state and less hurdles for federal grant money. And also noted that taking on new grant money does incur administrative burdens for a small staff, especially when there are a lot of requirements to it. And so that's something that working through those regional partnerships helps alleviate. In terms of your projects are listed on pages 740 and 742 of the plan, but at the high level, your project types are largely focused around flooding, which tracks with that being your highest ranking hazard. Project types include property acquisition, debris removal, facility improvements, improved flood warning, and improved flood studies and mapping. There are some all hazards projects which are specifically shelter improvements and improvement to mass notification systems and general code review. So a fairly robust suite of projects. I will say that once the plan is adopted, just procedurally, it's fairly easy to amend the project listing, and in fact, it is required that we review your project listing every year. So I mentioned that we did receive feedback from FEMA right before Thanksgiving, and so we are currently in a revision that has been required by FEMA. Most of the plan will not change, so this is essentially bringing in more data and more support. A lot of it is around some of the high hazard potential dam work, which doesn't directly affect Benton, but some of it is around some of the models, so we will have to increase some of the data that's available to FEMA to support our assertions about how everything ranks. But we're expecting that we can get through the resubmission this month, and we'll have a new determination in January. Once we receive an approval letter, that will be the point at which a vote can be taken, a resolution can be passed on this plan. And once that resolution is passed, that does mean that you have an approved plan and you're eligible for that hazard mitigation grant funding. So, any questions?
I got a comment. Congratulations. I did not think you could take that 280 some pages and condense it down to this right now.
That's what I'm good at.
You are good at it. You're good at it.
Yes, yeah. You're laughing, but you're exactly right. Amanda,
I'm like, goodness.
yeah. Amanda does a great job. She's one of our leaders of a very professional staff at the Regional Commission, and I've always appreciated the job she does. And I loved your comments about our staff, by the way. And good report. I feel like this is one of those things that if you don't have this plan in place, you can miss out on a lot of things. So definitely something we need. So, Council, any questions, comments? No?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to see you, Amanda. Thank you very much.
Great to see you.
Nice job.
Thank
Okay, with that, we will move on to our public hearings for this evening. There are two of them, and we'll start with, of course, the first one is consideration of a special use permit for a proposed medical clinic. And so I will officially open the public hearing. And Anita, would you like to open the... Okay.
Here. 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 Here.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor, before Mr. McClung comes to speak, I'm going to recuse myself from the vote on this matter.
Okay, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. All right, with that, we'll start with the report from the staff. Nathan, if you would, please.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. So we obviously had the briefing at the previous meeting on this special use permit by Ricky McConnell with the Hybrid Clinic Wellness Center. It's going to be located at 600 South Pollard Street. The previous use of the building was a clinic, and the intention is for it to continue to be used as a medical clinic. The reason for the nature of the request is with the ordinance change of last year, we now require special use permits for medical uses in all zoning districts. Just a note, because the town staff do find it, the use would be consistent with the zoning district and also consistent with our recently adopted comprehensive plan for that area. And additionally, we don't see that it would cause any adverse impacts as any other use or what was the previous use and what the intended use is continuing on for that property. And then my final note, based on wanted to emphasize in the staff report, excuse me, is that the main condition that town staff recommends to town council to be subject, which is included in the ordinance draft, is that that pursuant to the directives of the ordinance number 1059, which was the ordinance that changed our ordinance or our zoning ordinance concerning medical uses in all zoning districts, that the detailed and comprehensive list of all the medical services that were provided by the petitioner, those would be the only permitted types of services that would be provided on the property. And so the main note you can see in the staff report and also in the ordinance is that if the establishment or any other future establishment intended to provide or perform services not specifically listed in that document, which will become a part of the minutes and become a part of this packet, they have to come and apply for a new special use permit that will once again be subject to the approval of the entire council. And I would like to note that the petitioner is also here tonight as well. So that is my staff report for the special use permit.
Thank you, sir, very much.
Thank you.
Very good. Good report.
Mr. Sexton and I were speaking, and while you opened the town council the public hearing, we're concerned that maybe the planning commission ought to open their public hearing as well, just to make sure that the record is clear. Joint public hearing is being conducted at the same time.
Okay. So the roll call.
The roll call certainly called the meeting to order of the planning commission, but we want to make sure the planning commission's public hearing is open this week.
Okay.
Yes.
So
All right.
at this time before our planning commission, the public hearing is open as well.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, so with that, we will move on to the petitioner's comments. If you would like to make any comments, please.
I'm not used to being nervous, but I'm nervous.
Oh, it's just us.
So
Don't
I'm
be
Ricky
nervous.
McConnell. I opened my clinic in 2019 in Stewartsville. So I started in Vinton. It was a Vinton address, but it was Stewartsville. I obtained the massage piece of my clinic, which moved me to Brambleton. And I was there a year, and a lot of my patients are from Vinton. So a lot of my patients were like, man, we're so tired of this travel over here. And to be quite honest, I live in Bedford County, so I was tired of the travel as well. So I started the process of coming here. And so here I am. I have a background in law enforcement. I was a law enforcement officer for 10 years. I have 4 college degrees. I have a degree in emergency management as a paramedic. I have my associate's degree as a nurse. I have my bachelor's degree as a nurse, and I'm a nurse practitioner. My overall goal of doing the wellness center here is 1, to provide care, but 2, I don't practice traditional medicine. I've been in healthcare since I was 15 on the ambulance, and our systems our system's failing us. So I do a little bit more functional medicine, and that's why the massage piece meets with the medicine that I practice. And so my goal was to come to Vinton, offer services to get people off of pills, get people off of pain medicine, and show them that there is a different way to stay healthy and help themselves in a different manner. So, and I'm sure a lot of you know or don't know, a lot of the corporate healthcare systems, unfortunately, are inundated and their staff are super short. I know that Carilion, unfortunately, can't accept patients here in the town of Vinton. So I'm excited to be able to offer those services. The one downfall I'll say, and it's not a downfall, is that I don't take insurance, but I'll have affordable plans because I feel like the insurance dictates care for patients, and I don't want that to be a barrier. So in January, when I expand to primary care, we'll have memberships, very affordable memberships, and the people in the town or anywhere, to be honest, can come access health care, and they'll have total access to their nurse practitioner. So there's no more waiting on appointments. There's no more, we'll have the urgent care piece as well. I'm sure you guys see that in the paperwork. I think that that's a huge added piece to this area because there's just not anything over here other than going to 460 or Towers. But that's basically me in a nutshell.
So obviously, I guess it's obvious, you would not be performing any surgical procedures.
So the only surgical procedure that I do is I do hormone replacement therapy, and it's considered a procedure, and it's called pellet procedures. And so I do local numbing, and I numb the skin, and I implant bioidentical hormone pellets under people's skin. So that's the only procedure that takes place in the facility. I don't think, other than, I guess in the healthcare world, taking off skin tags and things like that, typical things. But other than that, no, maybe suturing for an urgent care patient or something like that. But nothing else past that. I think the special use, the only difference in the special use of what Louis Gale was there is really, honestly, the hormone pellets.
Okay.
To add, just so you guys know, the hormone pellets are testosterone, and a lot of people don't know testosterone is a controlled substance. So I have taken steps. The entire inside of my practice, because I'm already there, is sensor activated and under constant surveillance. And I'm going to have a team come in and put cameras outside as well. We're going to post a sign. I do administer medical cannabis certifications, and I'm going to make sure that there's a post on the front door that we do not carry any cannabis products in the office. I only prescribe so that they can go to the dispensary. So the only narcotics that will be on the property for your guys' ears is the testosterone, and it will be under lock and key.
Okay, thank you. Jeremy, do you have anything? Yeah, no, you, okay. All right. Council? Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll also receive public comments if anyone would like to make a comment. Anyone else? No? Okay, council, any questions, discussion?
We'll ask the planning commission as well for this discussion before we send it to council.
Where the planning commission would make its recommendation.
Yes.
Yep.
Any questions or discussions from the planning commission? Is there a recommendation?
I move to recommend approval of a special use permit for a proposed medical clinic to the town council.
There's a second.
I'd second it. Okay. Mr. Mayor, we did need to formally close the public hearing before doing that.
Oh, okay. We will do that then, unless
We don't do
council.
ours back over, do we?
So, no comments from council? All right. If not, we will, as you said, formally close the public hearing.
And we'll close the planning public hearing.
You can tell,
You've got a motion on the floor. I remember
Yeah.
your motion, unless anybody's got a problem with it. As it is.
All right, so we make a recommendation to council to accept.
okay, thank you, sir, for that. All right,
I made the motion.
Jonathan made the motion and Dave Jones seconded it.
Do we vote on the motion?
Yeah, I don't think you have to.
Oh, we didn't call a vote, so. Yep.
Yes.
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 all right. So that is a recommendation from the planning commission.
Yes.
Right. You can tell we don't do this every day, but we got professionals to help us through it. So, yeah.
I thought I was going to take my recuse away to help you folks out, but it's good.
All right, council, you have before you an ordinance which would allow the special use permit we've discussed here this evening. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt the ordinance to allow the special use permit.
And I'll second.
All right, discussion, any comments, questions?
I would just like to say, welcome, and I think you really sound like you know your business and have your act together, and that's impressive, and I think the people in the town are going to benefit from that.
Okay. So if you would call a roll, please.
Councilmember Miles,
Yes.
Councilmember McCarty,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mullins,
Yes.
Mayor Gross.
Yes. All right, ordinance passes. And as the vice mayor said, welcome to town. We appreciate you being here tonight, too. So,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, if you would, please.
I think it's exciting. I do. And I think it's exciting for the fact of people that you're going to bring to the town that's probably never been to this town. And only to know that you're only one block away from where everything is. So welcome to the town. And of course, as you know, you've met Pete and you've met some of the staff. So anything we can do to help you, well, welcome.
Hey. So I think that a lot of people, where is Jen? I have a nice smile in direction. You're not. Lots of patients that have come in different restaurants that they just haven't paid attention to. So, I take pleasure in making sure that people know that town of Benton's pretty awesome. I look forward to that, partnering with the other businesses as well. Because, it's Benton's charming, and you can't get that anywhere else. So.
Thank you. Very nice comments. Thank you. Well, we're working hard to make Vinton so awesome that people will ask, where is Roanoke? Thank you. Okay. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate you being here tonight. Appreciate you being in town. With that, we'll move on to our second public hearing, I think. Is that right?
We need to call the roll. No, wait.
Well, are you still open?
We close this one, right?
But they're still in the meeting.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, it always confuses me on.
You have to open and close each public hearing, but as far as the meeting, it actually.
Yep. I can see you. If you're confused, I am.
Confused. I don't have anything to say.
But we know where Vinton is. So.
Sorry.
All right. So we'll go on with our second public hearing for the evening. And this concerns an amendment to the Vinton zoning ordinance about commercial and commissary kitchens. And so I will officially open that public hearing and have the report from the staff.
And I will officially open the public hearing for the planning commission.
Very good, man.
Good evening again. So as we were briefed on previous meetings, these are proposed zoning amendment changes to the zoning ordinance. The first being the addition of a commercial / commissary kitchen use. This would make that use permitted by right in GB and then by special use permit in our central business district. Through our work sessions with the Planning Commission, we wanted to make sure that this type of use stayed in a small scale, and the best way to do that is to actually have a number attached to it rather than leaving it up to interpretation. So with the definition, we did cap these uses at 2,500 square feet for what would be considered a commercial kitchen. And so that's one of the first changes is the addition of the use to the zoning ordinance. The next change is a plethora of changes to the PUD district in our zoning ordinance, and I'll just briefly go through those changes. One big change is making sure that's consistently called the Plan Unit Development District throughout the ordinance. And really what kicked us off was the initial recommendation that we brought up previously back in the summer to look at the zoning district, because what we were previously requiring was 10 acres of contiguous land to even initiate this process, and there wasn't obviously 10. I mean, there's a limited amount of land in the town of Vinton, so we wanted to reduce it to a more reasonable number. But rather than just changing that one, we holistically went through the zoning zoning district and cleaned up sections, made it more in line with the previous zoning ordinance changes of 2022, and added any other additional changes that we brought up through our work sessions with the Planning Commission. So with that said, there's no changes to the uses specifically within the district that were allowed by right or by special use permit. We did make a change to the commercial use because we were going from 10 to 5 acres. It seemed that it would make more sense to have the commercial uses, the individual commercial uses capped at 2,500 square feet. The logic being that we cap boutique retail at 2,500. So if you're being in a neighborhood setting, that's just a nice number to cap it, so it doesn't become a larger use and it's not contiguous, or it's not consistent with that neighborhood feel or what we would like in that district. And that individual use would be per business. So if it's a commercial space, you could have something like a strip mall, as long as each individual business is 2,500. So we did make that clear, and that's the way we consistently enforce this throughout the zoning ordinance. Beyond that, there was some language changes. We added the landscaping ordinance to this section, and then residential lot and building standards. It was calling back to the R3 district, but we added more strict lot size requirements to specific uses. So for a single family dwelling, we have a minimum lot area of 4,000 square feet, but we left the minimum yards and setbacks either to the R3 zoning district as it was previously and originally, or allowing for someone to submit a master plan that would possibly allow for different setbacks in yards. Same with two-family. We have a minimum lot area of 8,000, and then for townhouse and multifamily, we kept those to the same as they are in the ordinance, since those were already the density and how they were made out and laid out currently in the ordinance worked well for those zoning districts to work well in the PUD district as well. And beyond that, everything else is just clean up, adding in the case of accessory structures, in the case of non-residential, like a place of worship or other commercial uses, what kind of minimum lot size requirements or standards they would have to meet, landscaping, and then finally ensuring that if someone gets approved for rezoning after 2 years, it won't automatically trigger the rezoning process, but after 2 years, if someone gets approved and doesn't submit a site plan, town does reserve the right to come back to the Planning Commission and Council and ask for it to possibly be rezoned back to what it was before. Because you just have, the idea there is that the PUD district is tied to a master plan, so if the land sits there for an extended period of time, it's not being developed, and 2 years is a pretty standard time to use for not grandfathering or vested rights, but 2 years is a good enough time for us to at least go and approach them about, when they're going to look into possibly at least submitting a site plan to start the development process. But a lot of changes to that district, but the main things were the building lot sizes and tweaking a few of the numbers to make it, and then not forgetting the biggest change, 10 to 5 acres, which I think will allow the zoning district to be pursued more for an actual rezoning where we don't have a PUD district in the town. Hopefully this will proliferate that and allow more people to be interested in coming to the town and exploring this option. So.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir, very much. Were there any questions for Nathan? Okay, with that, we'll move on to public comments. Anyone like to make a comment? Council, as I say, any discussions, questions?
Planning Commission?
I'd like to commend town staff for the couple work sessions we worked through this ordinance change, the complicated one. As we all know, you've got a rock star staff here in Vinton, and they did a fantastic job working on it. So I think we're probably good to make a recommendation of approval from the Planning Commission on both of these ordinance changes.
I'll second.
Close the hearing.
Yeah.
Close public hearing.
Right.
Council, Planning Commission will close their public hearing.
And as well, town council will close the public hearing. So.
And we made a recommendation, Jonathan made a recommendation, and Mr. Mullins seconded.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bye.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, council, you have before you a ordinance, a change to the ordinance that would amend the zoning ordinance. And of course, we've heard the discussion and the recommendation from the Planning Commission. So are there any questions, thoughts? Okay, we'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion to accept the amendment to the ordinance, and a second by Councilman Lyles. By the way, I guess the motion was by Councilman McCarty. So if you would call the roll, please.
Councilmember Lyles,
Yes.
Councilmember McCarty,
Yes.
Councilmember Stovall,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mullins.
Yes.
Mayor Gross.
Yes. Thank you, folks. Thank you for your understanding and tolerance of our procedures. So we appreciate your patience there. And with that, we'll move on to our committee reports.
Chair Lyles, is there any more business for the Planning Commission to attend to tonight?
Oh, yeah.
No, there is no more business for the Planning Commission.
If so, I move to adjourn the Planning Commission.
Thank you. Second.
I'll second.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right. Thank you, folks. We appreciate y'all being here with us this evening. And with that, we'll move on to our committee reports. Jill, were you going to do the Public Works or Bo?
She says,
Oh, no.
Are you sure, Jill?
you can do it.
Yeah. We know who really runs it.
That's right. She'd rather,
Yeah,
she'd rather be running it behind.
we definitely know that.
So I don't see Bo. Did you have a report?
I do. I'm going to provide
a
report on behalf of Bo. Bo had an absence request tonight, so I'd offered previously to fill in if any required. So in the absence of Ms. Jill presenting, I will do my best. I do believe you have a copy of the agenda at your desk, so you can follow along to some degree. And Sabrina and Laurie, please chime in if you have anything to comment along the way. We had it kind of subdivided into two aspects of the agenda, existing projects, the farmers market compactor, some of you are familiar with. As we have added new, particularly restaurants in our downtown, we've had an increased need for dumpster service there at the farmers market. Originally, for a long time, it just served vendors at the farmers market. So we're looking to install a compactor in that place of the dumpster. And I think the city of Roanoke has 5, for example, and they're throughout their downtown. We'll be issuing, working with the business owners who want access to it, who need access to it. They'll be giving a key or a fob. The actual refuse carts that we provide are actually will be able to be loaded and lifted into the compactor, and they'll come in. It's an electronic sensor. They'll come and empty it when it's needed, or once a month, whatever comes first. So we're just waiting on some additional fencing pricing to get that installed.
It'll go where the dumpster is now?
That is correct. It's slightly oriented more towards the post office, and it'll be collected from that side rather than from the farmers market side as it currently is, but it's going to roughly be in the same footprint. We looked at other options around town, but that seems to still be the most central and currently located on town-owned property. Wolf Creek Greenway restrooms and the community park restrooms. We talked a little bit about those 2 prefab structures that have been set in place. Still doing some utility connections on each. We're doing some of that work on in-house, but we hope to have those both up and running very, very soon. But they look very, very attractive, and I think they'll service the community for a long time to come. A little update on this. We did discuss the 3rd Street repair scoping from RK&K. It's an on-call engineer service. We did get that scope from that company earlier this week. We reviewed that and have since signed and authorized them to proceed. So the expectation is they're going to do some analysis of that roadway. It's about a mile stretch from kind of the middle of 3rd Street, the middle section that's the steepest going up to the former landfill. But they hope to have a deliverable project to us by the end of January, and then we'll utilize that, which includes a cost estimate that we'll build into our CIP budget. Maybe a year, maybe multiple years to be able to appropriately fund that, but we're on the right track to be able to recognize what we need to repair that road. 7th Street in Dale, that's a stormwater project. It's basically a creek culvert that we're replacing, and it's been an on and off again project for us. The road has been closed on several occasions as we've been working in the vicinity, but it's currently open, but we haven't completed some of the tie-ins to some of the other private stormwater structures, so we'll be over there after the first of the year to get that completed. We're pretty close, is my understanding, at least from my visual inspection. Downtown furniture installation, we're going to do this in the off season. We purchased some additional trash cans and park benches for the 100 block of South Pollard and also Walnut Avenue. Back in 2016, when we bought the current round of trash cans and park benches, we didn't have anything on that 100 block of South Pollard. So we're adding some amenities there, and then Walnut Avenue, since we've done those improvements, to kind of tie that into the downtown. Solid waste management plan, most of you are aware of this, but this is also similar to the hazard mitigation plan. We're required every 5 years to submit a solid waste management plan to DEQ. We're fortunate that we have a regional resource authority that manages the landfill. A lot of communities don't across the state, and so this mandate is to make sure that communities are planning for their future and where they're going to put their refuse. We're in good shape, but we do have to update the plan regularly. Our current solid waste management plan is 80, we'll call it 80 pages, I don't know exactly. So while we're doing the required update, the 5-year update, we're also revising the plan. So in the new year, I'll come back to you with a revised plan. We're trying to condense this plan from 80 pages, which contains frankly a lot of fluff, regional information that's not required for us to report, but because it's in there, we have to update it just like we do the required portion. So we're going to try to condense this down to maybe less than 20 pages for the data that we're required to and that we're already collecting. So it'll be easier to update moving forward. So there's 2 parts to this yet to be finalized for council. The fleet fuel cards, we've talked about this in various committees. We're transitioning away from underground storage tanks at the 3rd Street Public Works facility, and we're going to go to a credit card fuel card system. And Andrew has been leading this effort, and basically all the vehicles, some of our larger equipment, the cards will be placed in those vehicles. And so this allows us to go to participating fuel vendors and get cards still or fuel at a discount. It will be accepted at any fuel location, but there are ones that are actually designated as fuel membership. So we'll make that transition first of the year. And then hopefully within a few months after that, we'll decommission the storage fuel tanks, and that will take a large liability off of us of ongoing inspections, and not an easy task, and certainly something that's eventually going to catch us if we don't end its life soon. Stormwater improvements. These are the South Pollard Cedar Avenue stormwater. We commonly refer to these as the Allison Finney kind of stormwater project there. We've had a significant delay. We've had the bulk of this designed a year ago, actually, November. But because of the hotel construction, we were letting them do their work. We wanted to make sure that we were designing this stormwater upfit to accommodate the hotel. And so there was some site planning, some stormwater infrastructure we were waiting on for them. So I think we're kind of past all that, and we've got this ready to go. Mr. Carroll has reviewed it extensively, and we're ready to go out for bid, and hopefully early in the spring, this project will be under construction. The spring cleanup event, that is scheduled for April 6th through April 10th. We have put these in the town calendar that's going to be printed here in the next couple of weeks, and we'll do extensive promotion on this. We have done this in the past. It's been quite some time since we've had a dedicated week for this. This is the week that follows Roanoke County spring break. So I think the staff did a wonderful job to kind of think through that process and what the best timing of the year would be. So we're hoping we can make a good effort to have some extra crews running, some extra vehicles running, and do a nice job of helping our residents to clean their basements out, clean their yards up, garages out, and that sort of thing. And then we did a hazard waste. I included that in the last mayor's report. You saw the video. Tyler Beard featured in the hazard waste video. We did that in conjunction with RBTV and RVRA, Roanoke Valley Resource Authority. It's a continuing battle for us. You know, some residents are just misunderstanding what's hazard, what's not. So we wanted to provide or produce a video that would not only help the town of Vinton, but also help all of the regional partners, a part of the Resource Authority, so that residents of all types would know what's considered hazardous, and if they do have hazardous material, how they can dispose of that properly at the transfer stations. So I thought Tyler did a good job. I think the video was successful. I have not seen the reach it's had so far, but I'm sure it's getting quite the views. Moving into new projects, have you seen over the last couple of weeks, it's kind of transformed into Christmas season with decorations going up all around, making preparations for the parade that's happening in a couple of nights, and the Santa Crawl that will happen next Tuesday. Yes, sir?
So we'll be here at 6 for the tree lighting, and then get a ride from here to the Warm Water.
That is correct. I will escort, between myself and Chief Drummond, we will escort the mayor and the members of town council up to the War Memorial to participate in their various activities at the parade. But I'll be here, and I'll with Chief Drummond at the tree lighting this year, and we'll make our way up to the War Memorial.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yep. Let's see, striping. We've talked with the Public Works Committee about a couple additional striping projects. Mountain View Road, we're looking to do a shoulder striping, the white shoulder striping. One that typically will result in slower speeds because it can kind of condenses the lane and also encourages you to not ride on the shoulders, particularly where we have those steep drop-offs. So this hopefully will help us in some conditions where we considered some guardrail, but we're also having some of those sharp edges drop off because of the extra weight. So hopefully this will encourage folks to be more into the middle of the lane. And then we're looking to better define Clearview Road a little further. We have a double center line just up past Mr. Lyles' home, and we're looking to carry that at least over the hill, maybe down to Lauderdale, if not further. So we asked for some council members some feedback on that, and that is a very wide right of way. And we feel like better defining that with an extended center lane may assist.
I think about it every time now. I'm like, should it stop here? Should it keep going?
We probably won't be able to do it till spring anyway, so we've got some time to make those decisions, but those are two additional striping plans that we're considering. Public Works Snow Prep Days, that was a wonderful idea by the Public Works staff. We have a lot of new staff over the last couple of years, and fortunately we don't get to practice a whole lot about outfitting the trucks and getting out there until it's kind of sometimes 2, 3, 4 in the morning, and you're trying to do this in the dark with new employees, and you realize something's broke or you're missing the wrong part. So this was a great idea to do it during warmer months, is actually do a practice run. So we outfitted the equipment. We got everybody kind of staggered and staged just like as if they actually went out and ran routes so they could learn where medians are, where some hazards may be that they may not notice while it's under snow, and then actually identified some needs with equipment. So we were able to make some repairs and be better prepared for when the snow actually hits us.
Yeah, to use Mr. McCoy's statement, that's definitely what makes us rock stars. Part of the Public Works is that's the snow plowing. I mean, it's definitely, it's off the chain, that's for sure.
Yep.
We have quite a few unexpected repairs, some quite expensive repairs on some equipment, but we feel like theirs are required, and we're moving forward with some of those. We updated the committee on that. And then leaf collection has been ongoing for a couple of weeks, and that will extend through the next week, just to pick up any remnants that are still out there. So very, very busy meeting, and if I have missed anything, ladies, if you have anything additional to add? Ms. Jill, how did I do? Okay.
You didn't do as good as Jill, but
we're going to get her up here one day. That concludes the Public Works Committee report.
All right. If I might comment, instead of at the end of the meeting, just on a couple things. Number one, the leaf collections. I am so glad that we still do that. That really adds a lot to our community, I think. And I think it's a great idea because you mentioned the reputation we have for clearing the streets. I think it's a great idea that they do some training and everything for that. It's pretty cool.
I tell you, from Public Works perspective, from about October through January, you get a wide range of experiences. I mean, they get to do everything. They're running double runs on trash. They're decorating Christmas. They're doing leaf collection. You name it. It's kind of a whirlwind of activity. It kind of beats probably some of the mundane summer months, but it's pretty hectic.
Well, they do a really professional job. We're very blessed to have a Public Works department like ours, no doubt.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir, for the report. Thank you for checking on him, Bill. Okay, town attorney, I don't see anything listed. I know you're trying to hide the tie, man, but I see it. Thank you for your help this evening, by the way. We want to do it legal.
Well, just try to keep it straight.
Yeah.
Really, so that the minutes get it down accurately.
Yeah.
Everything we need is in there.
Good deal. Good deal. Thank you. All right. Mr. Town Manager, do you have anything else?
Just a couple of comments. I mean, we got a very busy couple of weeks coming up with staff and council commitments, community events. So look forward to seeing, hopefully, you guys out there to the degree you can. We have decided to cancel, as you know, the December 16th council meeting just for lack of business. And our council member Stovall had the great idea of having a Christmas.
Yeah, we'll go to Dogwood and have some milk and cookies and get ready for Christmas. We'll just kind of get ready. And
Well, thank you for organizing that.
So we have kind of scheduled this to be a little bit of an open house kind of format. Don't feel obligated to come at any particular time or stay for any particular length, but 5 to 7 is what we've kind of identified on the night of a typical council meeting, December 16th. So all are welcome. Houses as well.
The one that organized it probably needs to show up at open to close, don't they?
what was that? What do you say?
The one organized it needs to show up open to close, I believe.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Well, thank you.
Breakfast, so I can have an extra cookie and an extra glass of milk.
Mr. Mayor, that concludes my comments.
Okay.
Project updates.
Thank you very much. Seriously, Michael, I appreciate you organizing that. That sounds like it'll be fun. Council, for some closing comments, Councilmember Lyles, you want to start this evening?
Sure. Well, unfortunately, I miss, as of tomorrow, I miss everything until the open house fun thing that Mike's planning. I'll be back for that. So y'all have fun at the parade. I hate I missed the parade. I hope it's the best parade ever. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger every year. So I hope this one's the best one ever. And it's amazing how going down in Benton, coming on Virginia Avenue and all, and seeing the elevator shaft for the hotel like went up in no time.
Look at them.
So it's pretty cool seeing all that coming together. And they Tesh said that night that it'll go up really fast, but then it'll slow down when they start working on the inside.
Yeah.
So, and he wasn't kidding. That shaft went up pretty quick. And
we're out working in the coldest, windiest day on the
that scaffolding. That's something. I actually try to go through Benton as fast as I can, not just because it's not that big, but when it's a yellow light, I know I can get through it. But today I actually stopped at the yellow light so I could sit there and watch them work on the hotel.
Well, maybe
you could just go around the block and pull over.
Well, I didn't want to stop. Just wanted to take my time, and it was pretty good. I saw them up on that scaffolding. I thought about them like, wow.
If we get them to adjust the lights.
Yeah.
See.
Longer, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's all I have. I wish everyone, I'll see you on the 16th, but
Have fun.
I hope everyone
Think about it.
wonderful time with all the festivities.
Hope you enjoy your trip.
Yeah, have a great trip.
Yeah, you bet. Ma'am, you have anything further?
I just want to say Merry Christmas to everybody that what we might not be. I guess we'll see you next year. Is that right? Have another one?
Not as far as council meetings.
Just some activities, but no formal council meeting.
Right. Okay, so that sounds fun. Got lots going on. And again, tonight, people who came in from out of the area to Benton that were complimenting our staff again. I mean, gosh, and saying that Benton's a cool place to be. It's just, and then one comment was that it was a small staff, but I wanted to add, but it's a mighty staff.
There you go. That's right.
So, again, our biggest asset in the town is our employees, and that's a great Christmas present for us to have people like that.
Yep. Sure makes this job a lot nicer.
It does. It does.
Yeah, sure.
And that's all.
Thank you, ma'am. Vice Mayor, anything further?
I just thank you guys for organizing and keeping us straight, and I'm looking forward to the parade. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I think so, sir.
Yeah, we've got to call, speaking of rock stars, our rock star clerk, but Keith and I went to the legislative luncheon the other day, and there was, 9, Keith? 9 legislators there?
Yeah.
You think?
Wow.
And they had a different wide range of issues, but they did touch on skills games. Of course, Senator Stanley was there. Senator Stanley represents the skills games people. So they did talk about the fact that legislation will come up again. And the big concern is naturally, as you very well know, the proprietor gets 20% what comes from the skills games. The skills games owner gets 20%, the proprietor gets 80%, and localities get no taxes or anything, unlike the rest of the stuff. And the other big item is iGaming. And iGaming is actually slot machines on your phone to where you sit at home, got a slot machine on your phone, you put a debit card or a credit card, and you gamble. And of course, that's probably one of the most dangerous methods of gambling that truly could exist. So those couple of items, and then Rosie's is going to give some information so that at the first council meeting in January, we can let everybody know. Hey, once again, wish everybody Merry Christmas, and I couldn't sleep the other morning at 2 o'clock, so I got up and made that candy for y'all to So I know. I hope y'all enjoy it.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
Did anybody not get any and wants another one?
He's one of Santa's elves.
I think you just made the job of that.
I stay on it, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever come off of it.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I too want to wish everyone Merry Christmas, and just very, very thankful for our staff. I was thinking on Thanksgiving, of all the things I have a lot to be thankful for, but our staff and our council are definitely part of the things I'm thankful for. A lot of great activities coming up, Santa Crawl and the parade and all that, so very exciting. Today we had a ribbon cutting at the Vinton Cafe. And if you folks get a chance to go by, the menu is very much similar to the one that they had before. Really good food, good service, and Carrie Ann has become somewhat of a Vinton historian, supporter. I don't know what, Debbie's got the right words, and she's putting together some pictures and collecting a few stories and everything. So she sent a really nice picture from 1955, and I thought,
yeah, she asked for a picture of the church. It's the church.
Yeah.
The church there. Yeah, she asked for a picture of it. So.
Right. I couldn't help her with the building, but I knew all the cards, and I told her about the cards. So anyhow, Mr. Major, not to catch you off guard, but I had a really great conversation at that ribbon cutting about I just want us to all be aware of the police department is going to reinstitute bar trespassing, and I thought that was really interesting. If you wouldn't mind elaborate on that a little bit, we got a few minutes, or the chief, one of the two.
I'll give you a quick briefing. We've talked about it in Community Development Committee meeting a couple of times.
Oh, okay.
So essentially, and Chief, correct me if I'm wrong, or Jeremy, under Jeremy's working on this on behalf of Lieutenant Caldwell. But if a private business owner, for example, had a problem with a visitor, an unwanted visitor, they could bar them if they committed a crime. They could bar them from that premises. If that person came back, then they would have to eventually press charges and go to court to represent their establishment. The bar notice trespass situation makes that where the police department could then represent that property owner in court, right? So the property owner would be more inclined to probably press charges because they wouldn't then have to take off from their job or their work to actually go represent them. So it kind of takes some of the burden off of the property owner. And since we were going to be at court anyways, it gives us some better flexibility to assist the business owner. This also affects public property. So if there's an individual who committed a crime on a piece of public property and we bar them from that property, we would have those same kind of benefits. So
it's committing a crime on the actual property. I mean, it's not trespassing, for example.
If you've been barred.
Yeah, the business owner, you're a private business, so you determine who you want as a customer.
Right.
It's a behavior thing. It doesn't have to be a crime. It's just a partnership between the police and the business, where the advantage is we're 24/7. Most businesses are not. So some things occur after hours where we have to try to reach a business owner who is very difficult to find, especially at 2 a.m. So we act on behalf of that business through an agreement. and we can make decisions for them and infirm what's occurred. And
I got it.
if they don't want to bar that person, they have that option. We can always refer to it, but they ultimately have the authority to be like, no, we're good.
So they can bar them the first time around without them committing a crime. They can just say because of actions or whatever. Okay, I got it. What's that again? Did you say disorderly? Yeah, sure. Got it. Okay. Yeah, I was asking a question the other day too, Mayor. I'm glad, Brad, I'm glad.
Criminality, an obvious.
Sure.
It elevates to that cause.
So we started this process early last spring and into the early summer, and then Lieutenant Caldwell had a unfortunate kind of personal injury and was out of work for a couple of months. So we're just kind of re-engaging that. Hope to bring that to you for consideration sometime in early.
That sounds great. Sounds very cool. Very cool. Yeah, that's an interesting procedure. I wasn't aware of that. So thank you guys for that. Okay. Anything else coming before council meeting this evening?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor, please signify by leaving. All right. God bless, folks. I think that's great because I do too.